everybody for coming today. Today we're going to focus on WeChat marketing automation on WeChatify, which is our content management platform, and specifically in conjunction with Salesforce Marketing Cloud. For those of you that have joined sessions previously, we had focused on, the first session was setting up and creating your official account. The second session was user acquisition. And today is very much around user engagement and how you can utilize our platform to engage customers, prospects, and targets in China. A little bit about me. I'm one of the co-founders of TMG, and I'm the head of global client strategy. I've been working in content marketing for about 10 years. Started out when Facebook was this little company out in California that only focused on colleges. And LinkedIn was a company that only focused on sales and professional hiring, and expanded to when Twitter popped up, and Instagram and Snapchat and all the social networks that are so popular in the United States. And then about 2 years ago, I personally shifted over to focusing on China and WeChat. And our team, our global team, is only focused on WeChat. So we are a WeChat-centric organization. So a very specific outline today. We'll go a little bit through who TMG is and what our organization does, and how we're uniquely situated in the market for WeChat marketing. And then we'll go through our solution overview. And we're going to do that in two parts today. We're going to talk about WeChatify, which is our software solution, which is a solution that can support global brands on its own and supports many global brands today on its own. But we're also going to talk about our partnership with Salesforce Marketing Cloud and how we can enable marketing automation, and how that's something that didn't exist in the marketplace until we came together from a global enterprise perspective. And then we're gonna end up with some user journeys and some success metrics to show what marketing automation can do for your brand. We're not a large group today, so if you guys have questions, certainly reach out and ask during the session. You can ask via chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask throughout the session. So a little bit about TMG. We have a very specific mission statement. Our mission statement is to help redefine how global brands connect with customers on WeChat. So what that means is we're helping brands in the United States, in Europe, in Australia, in Malaysia, in Singapore, all throughout the world, do business in China. And so the folks that are on the call today, I believe that you fit into that group, an international brand that wants to do business in China, that wants to focus on either the Chinese customer in mainland China, or in many cases, the Chinese outbound tourist that's coming either to the United States or another part of the world. So that's where our sweet spot is. We're able to carve out that niche in the space because of our partnerships and our thought leadership. So as I mentioned, we have a partnership with Salesforce. We are the go-to marketing cloud partner for China, and we'll talk about what that marketing automation partnership looks like. From a thought leadership and a product perspective, we've got collectively 30 to 40 years of technical knowledge within our leadership team, and our engineering team that's led out of our Center of Excellence in India has been building and designing segmentation and customer management for going on 10 years as well. And then our Tencent relationship, which is a very special relationship, is at a global scale. So we have a very close partnership with the Tencent team in Guangzhou, where the WeChat offices are. Our office is right down the street from WeChat headquarters. And we also have a very close partnership with the Tencent team in the United States. Their offices are in Palo Alto, and we are their preferred agency globally, and certainly their preferred agency in the United States. For those of you that didn't see the news today, Tencent came out and is now the 10th most valuable company on the planet. So it's good for us to partner with organizations like Tencent and Salesforce. So just a little bit about some of our clients. We work with big and small clients, right? We work with customers like Apple and eBay. And we work with destinations like the city of Washington, D.C. And then from a hospitality perspective, organizations like Grand Hyatt and Wyndham and Hyatt Regency. Then we work with retailers like Saks Fifth Avenue and malls like Tanger Outlets. And we even have Tencent as a client of ours. So the Tencent English WeChat account is managed on our platform. That's a fun fact. And then we work with some cultural organizations like the Met. Fun fact about the Met, 1/3 of all Chinese tourists that come to New York City go to the Met. So I'm going to jump right into why our solution married with Salesforce Marketing Cloud is such a successful one. So up until about January of this year, international brands that wanted to penetrate the China market with a single secure marketing platform, they didn't exist. They had platforms, right? So they could have used WeChatify, which is our platform, and that is certainly an enterprise level solution, but it's not an enterprise level solution that supports everything, right? You wouldn't use WeChatify to handle your email marketing campaigns in New York and California and in London, or your SMS campaigns in Australia or New Zealand. You would use a tool like Salesforce Marketing Cloud for that. But then Salesforce Marketing Cloud didn't really work very well in China because they didn't have a WeChat integration and aren't building out their own WeChat integration. So once we were able to marry WeChatify, so the WeChat solution, to Marketing Cloud, we were then able to enable really a global marketing automation solution at scale. So the ability to pull in contact records and customers, no matter where they are in the world, into one single point of data so that we can measure that data, optimize it, and continue to automate. And the goal of today's session is to really focus on automation and to talk about what that can do for your brands and how successful that can be. That being said, you can manage very successful WeChat marketing campaigns without automation. There's just some manual work to it. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So just a little bit about what the solution offers when you marry Salesforce Marketing Cloud to WeChatify. For one, it allows you to execute marketing campaigns targeted to the Chinese audience with the leverage of Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So for those of you that aren't too familiar with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, it is the best marketing automation tool for email and SMS in the world. And like Salesforce in general, they're widely considered the best software as a service solution in the world, whether you're using Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or Marketing Cloud. And I'm not here to plug Salesforce. We partnered with them because of that, though. So from an automation perspective, utilizing the capabilities that are already being used in email and SMS, and then adding that with our functionality and our features to be able to deliver that through WeChat is a win-win for everybody. On top of that, utilizing our data models and our tagging capabilities with the data models and the management of data within Marketing Cloud is also a win-win for all marketers. So just a little bit about end-to-end WeChat management and how we help all of those brands that I showed you on the previous slides and many other brands as well. We can help in different segments of the user journey or the customer journey. So for those of you that are a hotel or a destination or a retailer, all of those have a similarity in common. It's you want to acquire users. You want to make sure you're acquiring the right user. From that acquisition phase, you want to make sure that that user is engaged with your brand. They understand your brand proposition. And then ultimately, I think all of us want to convert those users, whether it's converting to a hotel booking, converting to an airplane ticket, buying an Apple Watch, or buying a great pair of shoes at Saks. Ultimately, you want to take them through that funnel. And then once they get through that conversion point, you want to enrich that funnel and allow them to engage with your brand in a continuous way so that you have a customer for life. And that's where we think we fit. We fit into every one of those segments. Now, some of our clients work with us at just one element of that segment. So let's look at the user acquisition side. We have some clients that we help just find new users. So they already have an established WeChat account. Maybe they already have a team in place that's managing the official account, and they need us to help them find new users. We do that through several ways. First way is the old-fashioned advertising way. Tencent, again, the 10th most valuable company on the planet, has over 1 billion users per month across their various networks, with WeChat having 900 million of them. And they've got really great data targeting. So we can acquire users the same way you would on, let's say, Facebook. We create a persona, Say, for example, we're looking for someone of high net worth that's looking to travel to New York City in the next 6 months that's interested in fashion. We can find that person, we can send them a banner, market to them, and acquire them to the official account. That's one way. Another way is to reach out to influencers. So just like how we have influencers in the United States, everybody knows the example of Kim Kardashian or LeBron James. Those are both really big influencers. There are tens of thousands of influencers in China that we have access to. So in the tourism marketing space, if we're looking for someone that might be interested in art, or someone that might be interested in certain types of hotels, maybe higher end hotels, we'll find those influencers that would cater to that audience, and we would work with them to promote your brand. On top of that, we have the ability to take content and make it viral, and we'll talk about that a little bit within our platform. So capability of pushing out promotions through gamification and contests. That's a really strong way to enable user acquisition. And then another way is something that's not so popular here, is kind of this offline to online access. So bringing users in at different points of contact and then nurturing them within the network. And that's a little bit different than what we do in the United States. In the United States, you're always driving someone to a destination, and networks become drivers, not destinations. In China, it's different. In China, WeChat is the destination and the network. So we have the ability to utilize offline to online campaigns, and I'll show you that in a little bit later, but how we can do that in a really smart way, and it's data-driven. Then when we get down to the user engagement, the ability to really understand your customer or understand your potential follower and continue to market to them in ways that are relevant. And that's where both our technology and the marriage of Marketing Cloud really comes into place, because we can truly understand what the interest graph is of an individual, what the triggers are that will make them want to convert, and then continue to push content to them that they're interested in. All of that's based on data, and all of that's based on feedback from that customer. Then once we get down to the conversion point, we have integrations with tools like WeChat Pay. So WeChat Pay went from 300 million active users last year to over 600 million this year. It's now the #1 payment processor in China. So it's becoming let me phrase that, it is the common way of paying in China, and it's becoming very popular for Chinese tourists to use in other countries. It's just starting to take hold in the United States. Other countries closer to Southeast Asia, it's really starting to take off. And then at the bottom of the funnel, and certainly extremely important, is this customer service capability. So the ability to interact with customers via automation, so things like automated responders and chatbots and natural language processing to understand what a user is interested in, but then ultimately to, if need be, to elevate that to a customer service agent. So we have customer service agent management within WeChatify as well. So I want to jump a little bit into the platform. So for those of you that are very familiar with WeChat, maybe you've been to a couple of our sessions in the past, maybe you've met me or some of my colleagues, or you met someone from Tencent, or you've just been to China recently. WeChat official accounts are not that far off from, when you're looking at them on the surface, to, let's say, a Facebook fan page. The difference is that in China, on WeChat, you can perform all types of actions within that official account. It essentially becomes your brand website in China. So you need to be able to manage that, and manage that in a way that's efficient. And as on top of that, you may have several official accounts. So if you're a hotel brand like Hyatt, each hotel has an official account. And you want to be able to manage that in a way that you can centralize it, and you can have a core understanding of what all the content is that's being pushed out, and more importantly, have a good look at the data. And if you're managing that through WeChat, through Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you pull that data back in as well. So what we do is we bind those official accounts to our platform, to WeChatify. And it could be one account, could be many accounts. But that's something that we do in the stand-up process. So as part of our onboarding process, our team will go through setting up the official account for you. And for those of you that have been to that session, you'll know that that's the first thing we do if you don't have an official account. But then the second step we do once it's set up is pull the information into WeChatify. Then once you're in WeChatify, whether you're integrated with Marketing Cloud or not, you have access to our full content marketing platform. I suspect that most of the people on the call, based on the names, are English speaking first and may or may not speak Mandarin at all, and your teams may or not speak Mandarin at all. That's very common for our clients. Going back to our mission statement, we're helping international brands. So if you think about how we help international brands, one of the easiest way is to help them just get past the language barrier and get past the way of doing business in China. So we've built in a workflow that's very similar to other content management systems that maybe you use in other parts of your business, to allow for marketers to do what they do best: create content and create marketing. And we're not looking to reinvent the wheel. If it works on Facebook, or if it works on Instagram, it may have to be tweaked, and the tone may need to be changed a bit for China, but it'll work in China as well. China isn't this totally different land where everything needs to be completely different from the United States. It's not. It just needs to be in the right tone and needs to obviously be in the right language. So marketers can load their content into WeChatify, and then there's workflow. So if you have a team in China that wants to translate that information, or if you have a team member in the United States, you can do that through our workflow. If you have no one in China, our team can do it. So our team in Guangzhou, we've got a content marketing team on the ground that's all they do. It's focused on content marketing on WeChat. Now, if you have Salesforce integrated with this, we can load all of your content into WeChatify, and then we can automate all of it. And I'll get in a few slides, I'll show you what that automation looks like. And that automation allows us to create very unique messages and very unique user paths based on what a follower or a potential customer interacts with your brand. And that's something that's game-changing for us. I mentioned earlier about our tag manager and our ability to interact with data, and then the ability to pull that data back into Marketing Cloud. So we've deployed a tag manager or an analytics platform that allows us to interact with your customers or your followers of your official account in every way that's possible on WeChat. Whether they're clicking on tabs within the official account, tabs for those of us that have been familiar with WeChat or has been to our earlier webinars, are essentially navigation areas within the official account. When you interact with the brand, so if a poll is sent or a set of questions are sent, all of that information can be tagged. Also, how a user comes into the account can be tagged so that we can segment those users. So for example, if someone comes in from seeing a promotion at the front desk of your hotel, you'll know that they've already booked their trip. Maybe they came to the hotel via C-Trip, but now they're a customer or a guest staying at your hotel, and now you want to start to build brand loyalty. Or maybe you want to send them a promotion for 10% off a breakfast the next day, or 20% off at the bar, or maybe a free drink. You can do all of that because we know how they came in. And then also maybe if you ran a promotion in China with a banner campaign, we want to know that. So we want to be able to start to segment data based off that banner. We can do all of that with our tag manager. I mentioned earlier that offline to online is extremely important in China, and the ability to deploy QR codes or the ability to deploy entry points into WeChat are very important. And being able to deploy entry points into WeChat are not that uncommon, right? They're pretty easy. Anybody that's tried to set up an official account or logged into the interface knows that you can deploy QR codes. If you have your personal WeChat account, you know that you can create QR codes for yourself. In fact, every person has their own QR code. QR codes, unlike in the United States, in China, are the common way of interacting with individuals and with brands. But what we've done is we've taken that a step further. We've made our QR codes fully trackable within our system as well as within Salesforce. So when we deploy QR codes, and we could deploy one or we could deploy 1,000. So for example, if you're a large retailer, I'll use Saks Fifth Avenue as an example, right? And you want to focus on the top 10 stores where you know China's travelers are going, you can create QR codes that you can deploy in those stores. And then we can track how those individuals came in, and we can start to set journeys that way. And that's very common both in the United States when you're catering towards Chinese travelers coming here. It's absolutely common in China, no matter how a brand interacts with you. And then also how you're interacting with the brand when they're coming over. So at the first point of entry. So this is something that's built into the platform that is very easy to use that you need no technical skill to be able to deploy. From a marketing automation perspective, this is the most important feature. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about Salesforce Marketing Cloud and how it works. So Salesforce Marketing Cloud is essentially a series of triggers that are created by actions. And it's really designed, or was originally designed, for email. And Salesforce Marketing Cloud over time has evolved and as a software product gotten stronger and better at data targeting by looking at large sets of data and segmenting that data for an omni-channel experience. So for example, if you're a Marketing Cloud customer and you're walking into a retail store and you sign up for an email, you'll immediately get that email. You'll get an email response saying you've gotten 10% off for signing up. You can use that 10% off at the store that moment. That's extended over the past few years into SMS. You can do the same thing via SMS. Then you go and make the purchase. So you use that 10% off at the register, at the transaction or point of sale. That's being captured. That's feeding back into Marketing Cloud. And 2 days later, you get a 20% off coupon off of an accessory to go with what you just purchased. Maybe you buy that purchase, or maybe you don't. But then about 2 weeks later, you get a message sending you a survey. You answer the survey. That's informing more data about you. Perhaps when you registered, you gave your birthday. So on your birthday month, you get an email or an SMS promotion based on the information that you fed into Marketing Cloud. And then each time you interact via email or SMS, it's informing the data to be able to segment content and information that's relevant to you. So it's no longer sending 30 emails a year to a customer just based on a publishing calendar, or 30 SMSs a year. It's sending email and SMS when it's relevant to that customer. Now, we take all of that capability and we add it to WeChat. And that's what we've done with our integration. So all of the great features for the thousands of customers that are using Salesforce Marketing Cloud for email and SMS, we're now extending it into China on WeChat. Another feature that we're really proud of, and it's something we just deployed, is the ability to create contests on the fly within WeChatify. So contests are very popular in China. They work really well, especially with things around lucky money and being able to share wins with your friends, as well as have brands run very quick micro promotions. We can do all of that within our platform. So real world example, a hotel in New York wants to drive a significant amount of new followers and wants to enhance their brand. So they run a contest on WeChatify that you have to enter and shake your phone. And when you shake your phone, you get a code. When you get that code, you enter it in. If you get the code right, or you get randomly chosen, you get a free 2-night stay at a hotel, or 3-night stay, depending on what the promotion is. Those types of contests become very viral, and the viral nature of those contests will acquire lots of new users and bring them back into your account so that you can then continue to market to them in all the ways that we just talked about. Now, what I think is really important here is to know that not only are you acquiring new users and engaging them, but we're tracking all of this. So we're tracking how the users came in, we're tracking who brought them in, we're tracking what the engagement was on the contest, and then we're sending all of that information, if you are integrated with Marketing Cloud, to be able to automate what the next follow-up will be. So this is something that we've just deployed very recently. It's a Q1 release, and something that for all of our clients that are using it, they've gotten great success metrics out of it. The last slide I want to show on the platform is that bottom of the funnel, and that's the customer support model. So as I mentioned, we have the ability to create autoresponders on the fly. So when you think about your top 20 FAQs that your customers or potential customers may have, those can all be automated in the system so that it's not bogging you down from customer emails, or in this case, customer WeChat messages. But then, there could be an escalation. There could be additional questions. So we have the capability of building out chatbots, which utilize artificial intelligence and machine learning. And then you take that a step further, and maybe even the chatbot can't answer the question. Well, we have customer service capability with live agents available as well. And not only do we have live agent capability built into the system, but we also have the ability to archive all of that content so that we can then go back and look at that data to inform our autoresponders and our chatbots. So it's a continuous optimization against customer service. And bringing it back to, again, a real world example, a hotel that's catering to a Chinese tourist may not have a Mandarin speaker on property at all times. If each one of those Chinese tourists scans the QR code when they check in, they won't have to call down to the front desk where they might have a bad experience. All they'd have to do is ask their WeChat official account, maybe, where's the local Chinese restaurant, or how do I get a tea kettle delivered to my room? That type of rich experience for your customers will help build brand loyalty. So that's all built into the platform. Okay, I'm going to jump into what a journey would look like if we were integrated with Marketing Cloud and it's totally automated. And I also want to point out that these journeys can be done without Marketing Cloud, but without Marketing Cloud, there's manual work. So if someone's going to actually have to go in and send these messages. So I chose a young family led by Peggy. She's got young kids. She travels with 2 or 3 other families throughout the year, and they make decisions as a family. They don't make major decisions. They don't take them lightly. And Peggy does her research before she thinks about where she's going. And coming to the United States or going on a trip to Europe, that's a big deal for Peggy and her family. So she's going to not just look at online information, but she's also going to ask her friends as well. So if she starts out on Baidu, so for those of you that aren't familiar with Baidu, that's like our Google. And she does some research, and it turns out that one of the top 10 places to visit for Chinese tourists is the city of Washington, D.C. So she does a little bit of research about Washington, D.C. She then talks to a couple of her friends. Her friends tell her, yeah, Washington, D.C. is a great place to go. So she then looks up the website, finds the site, and on the website, there happens to be the ability to follow the official account. Well, she's very familiar with following official accounts, certainly of brands. So she does that. She does that from China. She then gets on the official account. On the official account, and I recommend all of you take a look at the Destination DC official account. It's a really nice one. On that official account, she can look around. She see some features. She can see hotel deals and different activities on the microsite. While she's doing that, all of those clicks that she's clicking on and looking at the hotel deals, they're being recorded in Marketing Cloud. And if there was no Marketing Cloud, they'd be recorded anyway in WeChatify. But the next step is automated if it's got Marketing Cloud. So our system is looking at that data in conjunction with Marketing Cloud and sees that someone clicked on hotel deals. So the next message that's going to be coming to Peggy from the WeChat account are going to be deals for coupons to book in DC that would fit her goals, right? So we've got very specific information that we found because of what she clicked on. So we can deliver a very relevant piece of data without ever having to have a person do this, right? Peggy then completes that booking. She makes the booking on the WeChat account, and she sees a new promotion when she books it. And for her to get that new promotion, she needs to register with her phone number. So once we register with her phone number, we've now bound Peggy's official account ID with some more information. So now we know a lot about Peggy, right? She's now completed that reservation. We've got all the reservation information. We've got a lot of data about Peggy. Now that we know all that data, we know when Peggy's coming to DC, the system, totally automated, can start to send Peggy promotions while she's on the ground in Washington, DC, to enjoy all of the different opportunities and promotions that the DC area has. All of this can be done in an automated way between the partnership between Salesforce Marketing Cloud and WeChatify or TMG's solution WeChatify. I would also point out that all of this can be done just with WeChatify, but there is going to be manual work across the process. I want to take you to another example. This is Zhao. Zhao's on a trip to New York. She's staying at a large hotel in New York City. And in that hotel, when she checks in, she sees a promotion sitting on her table to scan the QR code to follow the official account for Saks. If she does that, she gets 15% off her first purchase. It's a promotion going between the hotel and Saks property. Zhao scans that QR code. Once she scans that QR code, because we've got data-driven offline to online promotions, we know that Zhao is coming in from that specific hotel, from that specific QR code. We know that those cards that have been deployed to that hotel, that's exactly, triggers a journey, and we know that that person's only going to be in town for a certain period of time, so we need to start running promotions for her immediately. So for the next 48 hours, Zhao receives that 15% off coupon on top of other messages to promote other brands. So, a brand like Saks has, lots of designers that they can promote. So those designers are sending through too, not necessarily at discount, just promoting what's offered. Zhao then uses that coupon. She comes into the store, she makes a purchase, uses the 15% off coupon, that gets tracked, right? We now know that she converted, and we're able to trigger the next step in that journey. The next step in that journey is we're going to offer her a 10% off coupon. Now Zhao's ready to go home. She's done shopping, but she shares that coupon with her friend. Her friend then comes in the next day and makes a purchase. That purchase is also tracked, and the coupon is tracked that has been shared by Zhao to her friend. So we're able to track those journeys all the way through and then trigger new journeys. So it's an ongoing optimization effort that can be totally automated. And again, same thing as the previous slide. The capability is also there manually. There's just work that needs to be done. So I want to show a very legitimate, very successful model that works when everything is in concert. When we've got a WeChat official account that's up and running, we've got Marketing Cloud in place, and we've got WeChatify in between that. So we've got this hotel brand. This happened to have been a hotel brand in Malaysia that has 50,000 followers on WeChat. Account was managed through just the general WeChat admin. So in China, the WeChat admin is called Weijin. It's all in Chinese. Doesn't have any of the features that I just showed you, but it is a WeChat management system. Obviously, it's part of WeChat. It's very similar to if you were logging into Facebook without logging into a Facebook management system. There's just additional features that aren't there. But if you speak Chinese and you are a proficient content marketer, you could absolutely manage your WeChat account well on Weijin. So I want to be clear on that. But what you can't do is the marketing automation. You can't do the user workflow. You can't do content translation. Can't do any of those things, right? So this brand had good amount of followers, put the information into their WeChat account, and we're managing it well. But they wanted to segment that audience. They wanted to be able to understand more about the audience once they integrated Marketing Cloud and WeChatify. So what you do is you send a broad message. In this case, it was to 50,000 people, asking that user to give us some more information about you. And the type of information you'd want to know is maybe your birthday, right? So that you can then send that individual a promo code, which is very common for hotels, for retailers, for really any consumer brand. And you want to be able to continue to market to that individual in a much more efficient way. So you send out that general message, and then you get a certain segment back that'll fill out the information. And now we can then trigger those journeys, and that will then trigger actual bookings. So we've been able to take a general wide net, segment that net, and make it very specific to the audience. And this is an ongoing campaign that we've had great success with. So I came in just under 40 minutes. I'd like to open it up for questions. As I mentioned, it's not a very large group, so if you guys have questions, you can come off mute and we can just do this over the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Mary Jo from Palm Springs. My question is, when a brand is sending out deals and promotions, are those coming out of their database from their website over to you? So the question is, if we load a deal, package, promotion, anything like that, do they come from our website to you, or do we have to load all those in separately?
So you load the deals into WeChatify, and once they're loaded in, they stay there, and you can use them over and over again. But the deals are actually in the marketing platform, so they're in WeChatify.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi, Jeff. This is Tom. I have one question on just the account setup. So with Salesforce, what is the onboarding process? How do I access Marketing Cloud? Or not Marketing Cloud. How do I access WeChatify and Marketing Cloud?
Sure, it's a good question. So there's three things that need to happen. First, you need to have a WeChat account. So if you don't have a WeChat account, we would work with you to acquire the WeChat account, set it up, configure it, and have it up and running. That whole process takes about 6 weeks. If you already have a WeChat account, there's two other things that need to happen. One, you need to be a Marketing Cloud customer, or you need to become a Marketing Cloud customer. If you are a Marketing Cloud customer, great. If not, then you work with Salesforce, and we can direct you to the right people at Salesforce to have a Marketing Cloud instance set up and go through the licensing process with them. That usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, if you are a Marketing Cloud customer and you do have a WeChat account, we still need to set up WeChatify. So WeChatify is something that we would provision for you and connect into Marketing Cloud. That process takes about 4 weeks as well, and you can run those concurrently. So if you're setting up Marketing Cloud and setting up an official account and setting up WeChatify, so you're starting from scratch, all of those implementations can happen concurrently because it's done by different teams. And it's something that we can help you with every step of the way. That's a great question. Thank you.
I think my follow-up question would be, now I think Marketing Cloud takes, and Salesforce is a longer implementation. What about in the meantime, while waiting to set up and get approval for a Salesforce a Marketing Cloud account, is it possible to go ahead and create a WeChatify platform to run marketing campaigns for our company, and then bring that into Salesforce at a later date?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned a few times throughout the session, you can run really great campaigns and you can be very successful on WeChat with WeChatify. And you can do everything that Salesforce Marketing Cloud can do, you can do it on WeChatify. There's just a manual effort to it. So as soon as we have a WeChat official account up and running, we could set up WeChatify in a matter of days to connect that official account. It takes a little bit longer to connect it into Salesforce. But first step is always you have to have a WeChat account, you have to have a presence. Next step would be to integrate that WeChat account with WeChatify, which is pretty quick. And then if we are adding on Marketing Cloud and the marketing automation, that would be the final step.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll give it about 2 more minutes. I can give everyone back 15 more minutes of their day. Okay, I'll take silence as golden. I want to thank everyone for taking the time today. If you have any questions at all, you can see my email address is right on the screen. Feel free to email me. I will be speaking next week at a WeChat conference in San Francisco. So if any of you are in the San Francisco area, feel free to email me directly and I'll make sure you get an invitation. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.